Hello everyone, أهلا وسهلا. اليوم إن شاء الله we will talk with Professor Christopher Obaji, who is a professor in University of Ottawa in insurance law. He's a personal injury lawyer محامي في الإصابات. بنحاول إن احنا نتكلم شوية عربي شوية إنجليزي عشان أغلب الناس تفهم. Professor Obaji speaks Arabic, but he grew up here in Canada, so he doesn't understand all dialects, but I'll do my best also to assist when there is a question. بروفيسور أوباجي يعني يمارس المحاماة من 2009، خريج من جامعة أوتاوا في 2007 وأخذ من 2000 خريج بكالوريوس 2007 وخريج قانون 2008 ويمارس المحاماة منذ 2009 في جانب الأضرار الشخصية والحوادث والتأمين وما إلى ذلك. ظهر في عدة قضايا أمام المحكمة، وأيضا له عدة مقالات منشورة في نفس مجال الأضرار والحوادث. Thank you, Professor Obaji, for coming today and for giving us some of your time. We're all, I think, interested and excited to hear about this area of law, which we all of us, I think, here interact
Yeah.
with every day, daily, but there's a lot of misconceptions, and we're here today to kind of understand more, and also clarify these misconceptions and understand specifically what to do if we get into an accident, which is something unfortunate but happens very, very, very likely to happen in your lifetime.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much, Dia, for the introduction. Dia was a student of mine just this past couple of months here. He took the insurance law class and asked me to come and if I would do a talk about a topic in insurance. And so I'm very happy here to be with you. بحكي عربي بس أنا مثل ما ديا قال إنه أنا خلقان هون العربي تبعي مش كتير منيح راح أجرب قد ما فيي. أكيد ديا هون إذا عايزين ديا يترجم maybe ديا a few words here and there you might have to translate. Maybe I'll switch بين العربي والإنجليزي. But if you have any questions at all during, please, by all means, this is really an information session. هيدي لكم like تنعطيكم information. So إذا عندكم أسئلة, any questions at all during the presentation, you don't have to wait until the end. It's a good chance to, if you have to have conversation, I'm happy to have conversations too. So just to keep it informal here. So every province في عنده هو each province عنده his own قانون. Okay. Ontario في قانون، كيبيك له القانون تبعهم، وكلهم شوي like بيغيروا شوي القانون every province. So Ontario مثل ما عم بقول لكم في عنده سيستم خصوصي للأونتاريو، وكيبيك عنده سيستم خصوصي للكيبيك. ومثلا إذا حدا من كيبيك بيجي لأونتاريو في like the law changes a little bit، وإذا حدا من أونتاريو بيروح لكيبيك لقيت إنه بيصير معه حادث كمان. So أنا شو راح أحكي اليوم أكثر شيء راح نحكي بأونتاريو. أوكي. بس كمان إذا في questions أسئلة بخص كيبيك, I'm happy to answer any questions about the Quebec system, but it is different than what we're going to talk about for Ontario. So بأونتاريو إذا بيصير حادث في possibility of 3 claims. Okay, في 3 claims. أول شيء عندكم الكليم للسيارة. Okay, هاي بالإنجليزي بنسميها property damage claim. Okay, claim, you bring this claim to your insurance company. So إذا بيصير معكم حادث الانشورنس company insurance تبعكم هن راح يدفعوا السيارة أو repairs or the full cost إذا هي total loss. Okay, هيدا أول claim, property damage. إذا صار معكم إذا في جرحتوا حالكم, I don't know if I'm saying that right, you have an injury, أصابات, like if there's an injury, في possibility هلا for another claim مع الانشورنس تبعكم. if you have an injury هي بنسميها هيدي accident benefits claim. اوكي, هيدي الكليم الثاني, وهيدي كمان مع الانشورنس تبعكم راح تعملوا الكليم. The best thing be within 7 days. So من وقت الحادث مش أكثر من 7 days, 7 يوم بعد الحادث. بهال7 يوم لازم تعملوا الكليم. It's okay if you pass the 7 days, but the best is تعملوا الكليم بهال7 يوم. بتقولوا لهم للإنشورنس إنه أنا بدي أعمل كليم للأكسيدنت benefits لأنه عندي وجع أو عندي injuries. ثالث claim بيكون ضد إذا في حدا ضربكم. So إذا في حدا مش عليكم, الحق على غيركم. So إذا الحق على somebody else, someone else caused the accident, فيكم ترفعوا دعوة ضد هالشخص, والانشورنس تبع هالشخص راح يعملوا, هن راح يدفعوا هيدا الكليم. بنسميها هيدي tort claim. اوكي, هيدي الدعوة. واللي اكثر شيء مهم انه ما فيكم تبلشوا هيدي الدعوة بعد 2 سنين بعد الحادث. So لازم تبلشوها قبل 2 سنين بعد الحادث. اوكي, هيدي الدعوة إذا حدا عنده وجع وعنده disability, هيك شيء مش بس لكم شهر, like طول كتير, يعني مش ما رجع على الشغل أو بعد بده كتير like therapy بعد الحادث, like سنة بعد الحادث أو سنة ونص بعد الحادث. بهالوقت فيكم تفكروا ترفعوا دعوة.
Look,
Okay,
just
so
Professor,
هودي
if I
3
interject here,
claims.
just to sum up, so there are 3 claims. في 3 أنواع من أنواع الدعاوى الذي يمكن رفعها ضد بعد الحادث. الجانب الأول اللي هو ممكن تذكرني فيه بروفيسور؟
هيدا البروبرتي دامج كليم,
البروبرتي دامج اللي هو
للسيارة.
الأضرار الخاصة بالممتلكات. هل الممتلكات, Professor, here, are we talking only about the car, or are we talking also the belongings inside the car? Can they also be included?
belongings بالسيارة, مثلا عندكم ايفون او لابتوب او شيء هيك that was damaged من وراء الحادث, it's complicated. بدكم تروحوا عند الانشورنس تبع البيت. So هيدي غير كليم, مش عم نحكي بهيدا الكليم.
يعني الممتلكات الأخرى اللي ممكن تكون معك بالسيارة, the other belongings that might be with you in the car might be covered under your home insurance, not auto insurance. And today we're only focusing on the auto insurance. فإحنا بنتكلم اليوم فقط عن الموضوع اللي هو تأمين السيارات. طيب, the second type, as you explained, is accident benefits, اللي هي بالترجمة العربية اللي هي يعني تعويضات الحوادث, اللي هي التعويضات تشمل. What does it include, the accident benefits, Professor?
للأكسيدنت بنفيتس عندكم إذا في مثلا بدكم تروحوا على فيزيوثيرابي أو حكيم نفسي أو الدواء, if you need like to pay for the medications, وكمان للمعاش. So I don't know if I'm saying that right, بس مثلا إذا كنتوا عم تشتغلوا قبل الحادث ما فيكم تشتغلوا هلا من وراء الحادث, ما عادش فيكم تشتغلوا. الانشورنس معقولة هن بيدفعوا لكم معاش, وبدي احكي فيها شوي in a little bit more detail. I was going to talk about each one in a bit more detail.
Okay, so we'll talk more about the accident benefits in more detail, but before we go that way, the third type, which is the tort claim, which is it's not through you don't do it directly through the insurance, right? You do it through actually a court case, an action.
دعوة. Yeah, هيدي دعوة ضد it's a lawsuit against الشخص اللي ضربكم او هو حق عليه هو او
فهذا
عليه.
يكون دعوة للأضرار اللي هي استمرت لفترة طويلة، يعني لازم يكون الضرر دائم أو مستمر، صح؟
مظبوط.
يعني مثل ايش
مظبوط.
الضرر الدائم؟ هل
بدي احكي
تشوه
فيها
او
شوي اكثر.
اوكي.
رح نحكي فيهم
اوكي.
كل واحد، رح نحكي فيهم a little bit more. So
اوكي.
we should continue. Okay
Yeah,
to continue.
I think
Okay,
we will.
very good, Nadia. Thanks so much for that. That's very helpful. So that's great. And so if you have any questions along the way, let me know. But what I'd like to do is I'll speak about each of those claims in a little bit more detail, give you a bit more insight. So the property claim للسيارة. Okay, هيدي هن شو راح يدفعوا حسب الانشورنس اللي عندكم اياه. بس اكثريه الناس اللي الانشورنس اللي عندهم اياه راح يدفعوا السياره اذا بدكم تشتروا مثلا زيت السياره هلا قد ايه بتكلف هيك. That's how much they value. So او either they repair the car. So DF, they can either repair the car. Help me out here.
هم بيعملوا صيانة للسيارة وإصلاح للسيارة،
yeah,
أو
yeah,
بيتم
exactly. إصلاح
استبدال
السيارة
السيارة.
أو إذا total loss السيارة ما فيهم they can't repair it أو it's too expensive to repair بيدفعوا the value of the car بوقت ما صارت الحادث. So بدهم يشوفوا exactly هيدي السيارة هيدي الموديل هيدا السنة والكونديشن تبع السيارة قد ايه بتكلف هلا إذا بدنا نشتريها. So إذا أنتم بتفكروا إنه السيارة maybe let's say 20,000 بس الانشورنس عم بيقولوا لكم إنه نحن بس بدنا ندفع لكم 17,000 لأنه عملنا نحن الانفستيجيشن وهيدي السيارة is only worth 17,000 بس أنتم بتفكروا لا هيدي السيارة is worth 20,000. فيكم تروحوا على الفيسبوك ماركت بليس او الاوتو تريدر وتعملوا برنت سكرين بعتوا لهم اياه بالايميل قولوا لهم انه هيدي زيت السياره اللي كان عندي اياه انا وزيت الكونديشن والمايلج كثير مهم المايلج عم بينباع ب 20,000 مش ب 17,000. اوكي وبتعملوا negotiation مع الانشورنس تجيبوا how much it's worth. اوقات الانشورنس بيقولوا لكم no it's 17,000 and maybe it is 17,000 and they're correct.
So
So
there
مش
is a
كل
place
مرة
for
يعني.
negotiation. You don't have to take their word for it.
مظبوط. او اذا مثلا حطيتوا انتوا الدواليب جداد طيب that can count as well. أنا هلأ من شهرين حطيت أنا دواليب جداد so that should be a higher value. So there's a way of negotiating with them for the property.
That's for the car, for the Okay, Professor, here regarding the property, we're talking about this is if you are not in fault and or in both cases. When do they actually fix your car?
So إذا الحق عليكم الحادث. So إذا الحق عليك الحادث صار لأنه أنت مثلا ضربت حدا من ورا. أوكي. حسب الانشورنس اللي عندكم اياه راح يدفعوا. So اذا عندكم الاوبشن الانشورنس اللي بيدفعوا no matter what راح يدفعوا كل شيء. ممكن انتوا لازم تدفعوا الديدكتبل. اذا بس عندكم المينيمم انشورنس اوكي المينيمم انشورنس بس راح يدفعوا لكم اذا the percentage انه you're not at fault. اذا انتوا 100% حق عليكم ما بيدفعوا شيء. بس مش مثل عم بقول انا اذا اشتريتوا اكثر insurance options there's possibility they will pay you. ممكن انتوا لازم تدفعوا الديدكتبل. Sorry, I think طارق عنده سؤال.
طارق تفضل طارق.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor, for this great presentation regarding the insurance. Regarding the property insurance, does it that means that you should have like a full insurance, or maybe like you have like one party insurance from your side?
That's correct. So, like you're saying, Tara, it's really up to you. If you want to buy the more full insurance, so you have the insurance that'll cover, it's called collision or upset insurance, okay? Sometimes called comprehensive as well, but collision or upset is very common as the term that they use. كتير مهم انه عندكم insurance broker. أنا برأيي insurance broker is very important. So if you have an insurance broker, they can give you the advice ويقولوا لكم شو هن الاوبشنز اللي عندكم اياه. اكيد بدكم تدفعوا اكثر للcollision and upset. Okay, so that's going to make a difference in the premiums that you pay, but it's a personal choice.
يعني باختصار بروفيسور، إذا أخذت الكومبرهنسيف أو الكولوجن بيصلحوا السيارة بغض النظر من الغلطان. بس لو كان أنت واخذ بس الون اللايبيليتي فقط، المسؤولية، هم بيصلحوا السيارة للشخص الآخر، بس أنت سيارتك هم بيتحملوا مسؤولية الحادث اللي أنت سويته، بس ما بيصلحوا لك السيارة إذا أنت غلطان.
إذا أنت غلطان،
بس
that's
إذا
it. Yes.
بس إذا أنت مو غلطان، إذا هو غلطان وهو هو liability only، بيصلحوا لك السيارة، صح؟
لانه يس، بس دائما الكليم مع الانشورنس تبعكم، ما بتروحوا على الانشورنس تبع اللي ضربكم. اكيد بدكم، انا راح احكي فيها، بدكم تاخذوا كل الالوين للزلمه والانشورنس اللي عنده policy number. You have to record all the information, but the claim is مع الانشورنس تبعكم.
Okay, so we will focus more on this point later, but the point you're making here, Professor, is that انت لما تعمل حادث تتواصل، تاخذ معلومات الشخص الاخر وتتواصل مع الانشورنس تبعك، مش الانشورنس تبعه. ما يخصك كلمة الانشورنس تبعه.
مظبوط, exactly. So we'll get into that a little bit more in a bit.
تفضل ابراهيم.
Ibrahim, or you have a question? Ibrahim? Okay, maybe he doesn't.
Maybe he forgot. Okay.
أنا عندي سؤال. نعم، إذا حد ضربك وهرب، يعني ما قدرت تشيل الأوراق والوثائق وكذا، يعني إيش ممكن تسوي؟
Hit and run, Professor.
Yes, a hit and run. Okay, this becomes a bit more complicated. Okay. إذا حدا ضربكم، عم نحكي هلا بس بالproperty damage؟
بخصوص البروبرتي
بس بالproperty damage هلا عم نحكي؟
أنا بحكي بشكل عام. عندك سيارة وأنت في الخط تمشي في الهاي واي أو في الستوب ساين أو إلى آخره، ففي شخص خبطك وتضررت أنت حتى وسيارتك، يعني إيش الأكشن اللي ممكن تسويه؟
Okay, بس في claim, that's the thing. Okay, so أول claim بيخص property damage. هن إذا ما عندكم information or anything تبع الزلمة اللي ضربكم، حسب الانشورنس اللي عندك اياه. So إذا عندك collision or upset راح يدفعوا لك، بس أنت بدك تدفع الديدكتبل، وممكن الانشورنس بيغلى الانشورنس تبعك لو مش حق عليك، لأنه ما في there's no other party. So it's not a good thing, but that does happen, unfortunately. أو حدا ضرب سيارتك بالباركينج لوت وهرب. So ضرب السيارة وفل. Right? So it's the same thing. فيك تعمل claim على الانشورنس تبعك، بس إذا عندك كمان collision or upset، بس بدك تدفع الديدكتبل، وممكن الانشورنس راح يغلى معك.
ولو ما عندك collision upset, Professor.
What's that?
If you don't have collision upset, if it's just liability and someone hit you and you're in the parking lot, let's say you don't.
I don't think you can make that claim. I don't think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that question, but I don't think you can.
If you have dash cam, there is any action to call to the police, or you can do record and you can send it to the police, or what you can do in this case.
Yeah, you would have to try to identify the person. Sometimes the police will cooperate, but sometimes they don't. They put you on the bottom of the list, right? So you try to get as much information as you can to identify this driver. It's a very good idea. كمان راح نحكي فيها شو بتعمل بعد الحادث. أنا هيك I was going to talk about this subject كمان, but this is part of it. أكيد do whatever you can to identify them. But the police, you file police report for sure. Definitely file police report. But whether the police is going to help you or not, they might not. That's yeah. Unfortunately, they have a lot on their plate too. So
we have another question, Professor. Can we take it before we move?
Yes, let's do it. Yeah.
فتحي.
مرحبا، الصوت مسموع؟
ايوه
مظبوط. Yeah.
لا اوكي. شكرا ضياء، شكرا للبروفيسور على الخدمه الاجتماعيه هذه تقدموها للمجتمع، شكرا جزيلا. انا عندي سؤالين. السؤال الاول انه اذا صار الاكسيدنت وصارت السياره توتال لوست، فهل من حقي انه انا احتفظ بالسياره بعد التعويض او لا؟ السؤال الثاني، اذا السياره الكوست فور ريبير اتس مور ذان الفاليو، وانا بطالب انه صلحوها، مش محتاج انه تعوضوني مبلغ، وريفر الكوست صلحوها واخذ سيارتي، يعني مش محتاج تعويض، صلحوا نفس السياره واخذ نفس السياره، فهل هذا من حقي ولا لا؟ شكرا.
So, Professor, there are two questions here. First one is, if you actually get into an accident, do you get to keep, and they replace the car, do you get to keep the damaged car, or it's now the insurance companies? The other question is whether if the cost of repair is higher than replacement,
Yeah.
and you want to repair it because you don't want to go get another car. You just want that car because you're not going to find the same car in the market. So in that case, can you tell them, no, I want you to repair it?
No. So أول سؤال جواب it's the salvage، اسمها salvage بالإنجليزي، بيروح على السيارة، بتروح على الانشورنس. so هن فيهم يبيعوا السيارة for parts or anything like that. ما فيك تخلي السيارة معك إذا هن دفعوا لك الكليم للproperty damage claim. تاني سؤال، هن عندهم الأوبشن، so ما فيك تجبرهم يصلحوا السيارة. راح يدفعوا لك. Unfortunately بتصير كتير بيدفعوا the value of the car مثلا maybe it's only valued $3,000-4,000. ما فيك تشتري سيارة جديدة ب 3,000-4,000. السيارة used, it's very hard to find. So unfortunately that happens a lot. So I hope that answers that question.
Okay,
yeah.
Professor, we can move to the next item.
To the next topic was the accident benefits. لأنه بدي أحكي شوي بالaccident benefits. هودي they're important إذا مثل ما عم نقول مثلا عندك وجع أو ما فيك تشتغل أو في عندك I always forget this word, the injuries word.
إصابة?
Like the injuries. إصابة. Yeah. Okay. So بأونتاريو هلا بعد بجولاي 1 يعني بعد شهر، أقل من شهر، عم بيغيروا القانون اوكي للاكسيدنت بنفيتس. قبل كل واحد منا عنا المينيمم كفرج انه هن بيدفعوا $400 ماكسيمم $400 بالجمعه. مش كتير منيحه $400 بالجمعه اذا ما فيك تشتغل. يعني this is من زمان كانت 400 وما غيروها من القانون. بس القانون الجديد المينيمم ما راح يكون في عنا شيء معاش unless تشتروا الاوبشنز، لانه لازم انتم تشتروا الاوبشنز مع الانشورنس بروكر تبعكم اذا بدكم الكفرج تاع الانشورنس يدفعوا لكم المعاش اذا بيصير لكم شيء بحادث. اوكي سو هيدي القانون مثل ما عم بقول ببلش بجولاي 1st. كتير مهم انه بتحكوا مع البروكرز تبعكم، الانشورنس بروكر تبعكم، تسالهم هالسؤال اذا انا عندي هالكفرج او ما عندي هالكفرج after July 1st. بس راح كمان يدفعوا لكم الثيرابي، سو فيزيوثيرابي بيدفعوا، حكيم نفسي، occupational therapy، الدواء، هودي اشياء راح يدفعوا لكم اياهم. كلنا عنا هيدا الكفرج، minimum coverage. So that's why مهم اذا في معكم عندكم problems، اوجاع او شيء هيك، لازم تقول لهم للانشورنس انه عندكم هالبروبلمز دغري من بعد الحادث، هيك فيكم تبلشوا بهيدا الكليم وهن يبلشوا يدفعوا لكم. And so that's an important thing. That's probably the most important. هلا بيدفعوا a few other things, بس the most important is the therapy and the income replacement. That's really the two major ones.
Professor, I would like you're saying that Ontario is changing their laws. There is not going to be a mandatory minimum coverage for income replacement starting in
July 1st. That's right.
The current status of the law as it stands, there is a minimum of 400 per week for income replacement if you are not going to work for whatever reason. But now starting July, this is going to be optional. So it means you will have to pay extra in order to get that coverage. Correct?
Yes. So بدي بس فرجيكم السكرين هون. I don't know إذا فيكم تشوفوا السكرين. You can see the screen there, Dia?
Yeah.
Okay, so this page here is very important. لأنه بيقولكم كل شيء اللي عندكم insurance مع للسيارة، كل شيء summarize بهيدا one page اسمها automobile insurance renew certificate, okay, or declaration page or certificate. Okay, so accident benefits هي هون. Okay, كل الoptions تبع accident benefits بيكونوا هون, and they will show you إذا أنتوا اشتريتوا الoptions أو ما اشتريتوا الoptions. مثلا هون اشترينا الoption لهن يدفعوا لل1 مليون للثيرابي فيزيو وكل هالاشياء، ما عندهم ليميت لل1 مليون. اذا ما اشتريتوا هيدا بيكون الليميت تبعكم او 3,500 if it's a minor injury or 65,000. بس فيكم تشتروا مثل عم قل لكم الاوبشن لل$1,000,000. It's going to cost you a little bit more. So that's why it's important تحكوا مع الانشورنس بروكر بهيدا الاوبشنز. كمان الانكم ريبليسمنت راح يكون 0 اذا ما بتشتروا الاوبشنز.
Yeah. Professor, is it gonna be 0 in the next renewal cycle? Like you're gonna finish your existing contract and then once it's renewed, you have to go and review it because that might be nullified.
That's my understanding, Dia. I would agree with your interpretation that it would go until you have to renew your insurance. I would check with your insurance broker anyways, but yeah, it's into the upon renewal is going to be very important that you deal with that.
And so what you showed us now, this is usually sent by the insurance company every year once before they renew, right? This kind of document.
That's right. That's right. So good point, Dia. كل سنة الانشورنس بيبعتوا لكم هيدا الصفحة اللي أنا ورجيتكم إياها. كل سنة بيبعتوا لكم هيدا للرينيول. So إذا منكم أكدين شو عندكم options، حكوا مع البروكر قبل ما يصير الرينيول.
Because they can't just change it and you didn't notice. You thought you had it, now it was taken off this year, but you didn't know.
They could maybe they take it off and the broker إذا البروكر مش عم بيعمل الجوب تبعه ومش عم بيقول لك إنه الانشورنس اتغير, maybe you don't have the coverage. That's another problem though. That's another issue, a different type of lawsuit.
Yeah, a reliance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's the accident benefits. وهيدا الكليم بتبلشوها. The best thing إذا فيكم تبلشوا الكليم 7 أيام بعد الحادث, مش أكثر من 7 أيام بعد الحادث. At least إنه قولوا لهم للإنشورنس إنه بدكم تبلشوا accident benefits claim, وهن بيبعتوا لكم كل الأوراق. في كتير أوراق لازم تعبوهم. كمان مهم إنه كل شيء بتعبوا بيكون مظبوط, أو إذا ما نكون مأكدين قولوا لهم للإنشورنس أو اكتبوا إنه أنا مش مأكد بهيدا أو هيدا, لأنه كل شيء اللي أنتوا عم تكتبوا وأنتوا عم بتقولوا لهم للإنشورنس, إذا بيصير شيء بعدين بيشوفوا إنه ما قلت الحقيقة أو لو مش قصداً, فيهم هن يعملوا لك problems. So أحسن شيء دايما تقولوا لهم كل شيء مزبوط. إذا ما نكون مأكدين بشيء قولوا لهم إنه أنا مش مأكد 100% كذا كذا. إذا عبضت أنا 50,000 هيديك السنة بالشغل أو 35,000 مش مأكد, بس بفتكر بين ال 30 وال 50,000 أنا المعاش تبعي مثلا.
بس هذا بعد الحادث, after the accident or before the accident, professor?
اوكي, هيدي بعد الحادث. هلا قبل الحادث كمان بدكم تقولوا لهم للبروكر او للانشورنس كل شيء. مثلا اذا انتم مش عم تسوقوا السياره والسياره اللي عم بيسوق السياره ابنك او بنتك, هن عم بيسوقوا السياره مش انت, بتقولوا لهم انه هيك عم بيصير. يعني it's better to be honest, بس the most important بعد الحادث for sure, بعد الحادث like just make sure you're being straightforward. كمان كان بدي اقول لكم اياه, لانه انا شفت كثير بالبراكتس تبعي بالشغل تبعي, انا شفت كثير عالم اللي عندهم accident وبدنا نشوف شو كان معاشهم قبل, خاصة اللي self employed, اللي هو self employed مثلا شوفير تاكسي او construction, كلهم هودي the self employed individuals. انا شفت بيجيني الانكم تاكس ريتيرنز قبل الحادث, اكيد هودي الانكم تاكس ريتيرنز تبع قبل الحادث, ومش عم بيورجوا لريفينيو كندا انه عم بيعملوا مصاري, مش عم بيورجوا انه عم بيعملوا قليل مصاري, لانه ما بدهم يدفعوا كتير تاكس. هيدي راح يخص بالكليم على الانشورنس unfortunately. يعني انا شفتها كتير. شوفير تاكسي قبل كانوا يعملوا maybe 80,000 at least 80,000, هيدي قبل اوبر مثلا, ومش عم بيورجوا شيء او قليل عم بيورجوا بالانكم تاكس ريتيرنز. اذا بيصير لهم حادث صعب علينا هلا نقول لهم للانشورنس بس قبل الحادث كانوا عم بيعملوا منيح. بس ليش ما قلتوا لهم للسي ار اي انه عم بيعملوا كل هالمصاري؟ تعمل شوي a little bit of a problem. Okay,
So it's important to disclose your correct income even with the CRA. It's gonna be affecting your claims. How much you're actually disclosing for tax purposes.
Tax purposes. You know, look, I'm a tax lawyer. I'm not an accountant, but look, I'm just telling you in the perspective. But in my perspective, it makes it problematic if CRA is not receiving the proper information. So yeah, you know, but it's a whole other topic.
Sir, Ibrahim.
معلش احنا أسئلة كثيرة موجودة حقيقة في موضوع مثل الانشورنس. هو موضوع حيوي ويمكن كل شخص مننا بيعاني من هذا الشيء، أو ممكن سواء قد حصل له حادث من سابق أو ممكن في المستقبل. في جزئية مهمة هي متعلقة في الأشخاص اللي هم شغالين، اللي هو بسميه يعني سيلف امبلوي. اوكي. يعني انت لما بتقدم على الانشورنس احيانا ما اونلاين خصوصا، انت بتذكر لشركة الانشورنس انه انت فقط من البيت الى العمل او الى المدرسة او كذا، ما بتذكر لهم انه انت شغال على الاوبر او ليفت او ما من هذا القبيل يعني. فاذا حصل حادث في هذه الحالة، هل ممكن تعمل ديكليريشن انه انت كنت شغال في الاوبر او في ليفت او في ديليفري او مش عارف ايش، او رغم انه انت ما صرحت او ما عندك ديكليريشن من سابق في السيستم، انت قلت فقط تستخدم السيارة لأغراض شخصية فقط. فكيف هي الحالة يعني؟
So if I
Professor,
understood,
what if we group this question with the whole aspect of disclosure before accidents? Because the question, as I understand, goes into toward that. What duty do you have toward your insurance in terms of disclosure؟ ايش الاشياء اللي لازم تصرح فيها بدقة قبل الحوادث في البداية لما بتتعاقد معهم، من باب كم المسافة اللي بتمشيها سنويا، عنوان منزلك، من باب انت بتشتغل شو بالسيارة هذه، هل خاص ولا بتشغل فيها اوبر؟ ايش الاشياء اللي لازم تصرح فيها واللي ممكن بعدين تأثر على اي دعوة ترفعها؟
okay, the rule of thumb لازم احسن شيء تقولوا لهم كل شيء مزبوط من الاول. هيدي rule of thumb احسن شيء، كلهم قولوا لهم كل شيء. هيك ما فيهم يقولوا بعدين بعد الحادث انه ما قلت لنا كذا كذا كذا، نحن مش رح ندفع لك الكليم، لانه بتصير هيدا بتصير. هلا اذا الكيلومترز، انا ما بشوف كثير problems about the kilometers. انه انا قلت لكم 5000 كيلومتر كل سنه، بس انا عملت maybe 6 7 8000 every year. I don't see a big problem with that. But مع ليفت او اوبر، اذا حدا عم يشتغل ليفت او اوبر والانشورنس منهم عارفين، هيدي بتكون a problem for sure. So ممكن الانشورنس مش رح يسألوا الأسئلة بعد الحادث و nobody will know. Okay, that could happen. Nobody asks the question. But the problem is they find out or they ask the questions, then it could be problematic. Okay, so that's the best advice I can give about that. I think
What
it's
about
not
the
the
address,
risk is not
Professor?
worth taking. What's that?
What about address? The address of your home address, because sometimes people change their address because to save money, because some areas are more expensive than others. So they might put an address for their parents or a friend or a place that they already moved, but they kept their address there because the new address is more expensive.
لا، اوقات بتصير انه حدا like they'll move، بس it's only been a few weeks or maybe even a couple of months and they didn't tell their insurance. مش قصدا، ما عملوا قصدا، بس اذا عم تعملوا قصدا انه الانشورنس راح يكون اغلى، اذا بقول لهم الحقيقه they can make a problem about that. Okay,
So they can deny the claim?
They can deny the claim. Sorry, yes, there's a question from Willie here. They can deny the claim, take an off coverage position if for misrepresentation. Okay, there's different things that they can do, but worst case scenario is they simply deny the claim. Yeah. So I just the most important thing is just to try to just be as frank as you can. I think it's the best to have a broker. That's why مع البروكر، لانه فيك تسالهم directly للبروكر، هن بيقولوا لك اوكي، والبروكر هيدا الميدل مان بينك وبين الانشورنس. So like be honest with the broker and tell them the situation, or broker will tell you what to do. That's the best advice I can give you on that. But I think we should move on. I know there's a lot of questions. I do want to, because I know we're running out of a bit of time, I do want to talk about sort of what to do after the accident as well as the lawsuit.
Professor, for the sake of time, if there is any question, you guys write it in the chat, and then once the professor wraps up the presentation, we can go through all these questions, just to make sure that we can, because the professor have limited time here.
Yeah, we are going to run out of time. I'm happy to stay a little longer though, but yeah, feel free to put questions on the chat, and we'll monitor it as we're going along. So for the insurance policy, I think it's very important that you have, and that's why I'm going to show it again. Okay, bodily injury liability أقل شيء مليون، بس أحسن إذا عندكم 2 مليون. هيدا liability. So إذا بيصير حادث، دعوة أنت عم ترفع دعوة أو دعوة ضدك، عندكم ال 2 مليون. وكتير كتير مهم انه عندكم، واكثريه العالم عندهم يا هيدا الاوبشن، بس هودي كلهم اوبشن. سو بدك تحكي مع البروكر اسمها 44R OPCF 44R، بس هون بتكلف in this case only $19 a year, and it's so important. لانه هيدي it protects you اذا حدا بيعملكم حادث وحق عليهم، بس هن ما عندهم insurance liability او عندهم كتير قليل insurance. الانشورنس تبعك is going to respond to the claim للمليون, to the $2 million إذا عندكم 2 million. Okay, so it doesn't matter قد ايه عنده insurance الزلمه اللي ضربكم، اذا انتم عندكم ال 2 million وعندكم كمان هيدا الاوبشن 44R اسمها 44R, it protects you in those cases. كتير كتير مهم. Okay, so I would definitely speak to your broker about that. So
For the normal scenario, Professor, the normal scenario, you don't have this option, and you get into an accident with a person who has, for example, what is the minimum liability?
200,000.
So the person has 200,000 liability, but you get in a major accident, and now you try to make a claim, in this case, a tort claim, as I understand, right? And
yes,
you're trying to make a tort claim for, let's say, $1 million. But because that person only has 200,000 insurance coverage, you only gonna get the 200,000, and then you're trying to get him like the 800,000 directly from him, which is not realistic because most likely he's not gonna have it.
That's right. So you're protecting yourself. It doesn't matter إذا ما عنده insurance. لو هو ما عنده insurance أبدا هو سكران والسيارة is a stolen car. سرق سيارة ما عنده شيء insurance, zero, because if it's a stolen car there's zero insurance, doesn't matter. And so in that case إذا عندكم ال 44R, it protects you very well. So إذا بيصير حادث, okay, next topic. إذا بيصير حادث أول شيء you want to get all the information of the other party. Okay, driver's license card إذا خدوا صورة للدriver's license card, خدوا insurance information. But you can also just call the police if it's a serious accident أكثر من $2,000 the property damage. إذا بتشوفوا no, it's a really مش بس bumper to bumper هيك شوي damage, but serious damage to the car. قولوا لهم للبوليس it's over $2,000 serious damage. راح يبعتوا لكم police يعمل report on the spot أحسن شيء. إذا عندكم إذا انجرحتوا حالكم, like you have an injury, عندكم وجع, tell the police when you're on the phone, I feel injured. Yes, if they want to send an ambulance, that's okay. Send an ambulance and tell them to send the police. It's good for them to send the police because they'll write a report. If it's a small accident, مش ما في كتير damage وممكن انت ما عم بتحس في عندك شيء عوجاء ابدا. اوكي, فيكم تروحوا خذ كل الانفورميشن تبعهم وبعدين بدك تروح على collision center, police collision center, okay, to file the police report. مش راح يبعتوا police عندكم. خذوا صور, خذوا فيديو, document, well document, واكيد بدكم تقولوا لهم للانشورنس انه صار معكم حادث. هلا اوقات اذا الحادث is so minor ما بدكم تقولوا له للانشورنس, you want to deal with it directly with the person. You can do that, but make sure you don't have any injuries. Because if you have any injuries, then you're going to have to make a claim with your insurance company. So be careful about just making a deal with the other person.
Professor, as I understand, under Ontario law, if the accident is less than 2,000 damage, you don't have to report it to the police, like collusion center, but it's always good to report it because
it's good to go to the collision center and tell them, like, because that way you'll have it well documented. And, you know, if there's a problem, like, especially the most important thing, if there's an injury. Okay, that's where it becomes really important. If you have an injury, maybe the next day you wake up and you're not feeling well at all, من وراء الحادث, then you go to the police collision center and report it. Make sure you have all the information of the other driver and tell your insurance company. Okay? You don't need a lawyer right away. مش مهم إنه عندكم محامي دغري. No. Okay, you can see, like, بلشوا بالaccident benefits claim. شوفوا شو عم بيصير إذا راح تتحسنوا. إذا مش عم تتحسن بعد شهرين 3 أشهر 4 أشهر, you know, like, it's not getting better. دقوا فيكم تدقوا لمحامي اسألون إذا they're interested in looking at the file. أنا عادة باخد وقت كتير قبل ما بلش بالفايل, ممكن سنة, 12 months or so, حسب injuries, but sometimes I'll take my time before entering the case. Other lawyers may take it on right away. So
what's sabab, Professor? Why? What's the reason you hold on the file and not take it right away with the client?
Yeah, so إذا عندكم مثلا ما فيكم تشتغلوا, عندكم أوجاع, بس بعد سنة ونص بتكونوا like كل شيء بتحسن, عم ترجعوا على الشغل, ما عاش عندكم شيء من وراء الحادث, أوجاع أو anything like that, أنا مش رح بلش دعوة, لأنه it's not gonna be worth anything. القانون بأونتاريو, it's only إذا عندكم شيء long term, okay, serious and permanent, then there's possibility of compensation. But it's not an easy thing. Sometimes people will tell you that, oh yeah, easy money. Like, it's not easy money. It's a complicated process. Yeah, the United States makes it look like that. It's a complicated, long process. It's not easy money that's just going to happen overnight. It's really for serious permanent injuries and disabilities.
So it's disability and disfigurement, Professor, right?
Disability, disfigurement, pain and suffering. You know, if your person is requiring a lot of therapy, a lot of care because they can't get their life back in order, yeah, that's when it becomes very important. Any of those things, then you should talk to a lawyer. Other claims, if it's serious injury, I just want to mention so that you are aware of this. فيكم تعملوا إذا كتير يعني صار لكم أكثر من سنتين ومش عم ترجعوا على الشغل, فيكم تعملوا claim مع CPP, Service Canada CPP Disability. هيدا الكليم بيدفع معاش. فيكم تعملوا ODSP claim إذا قبل الحادث ما كنتوا عم تشتغلوا كتير قبل الحادث, أو قليل كنتوا عم تشتغلوا, بس عندكم problems من وراء الحادث وما فيكم تعملوا شي شغل. بعد الحادث فيكم, you could do ODSP if you have no other income. الانشورنس مش عم يدفعوا لكم شي or anything. بعدين بس إذا عندكم غير insurance, مثلا long term disability اللي عم يشتغلوا مع الشركة أو مع الحكومة, هن عندهم أكيد عندهم group insurance policy, والinsurance تبع الemployer تبع الشركة فيهم هن يدفعوا لكم disability كمان. So there's different ways of getting recovery for your inability to work, مش بس من وراء الانشورنس تبع السيارات.
Okay, Professor, we have 2 questions here. First, is asking, Ghanem is asking, what if I have one-way insurance, third-party liability, and I got into accident and I'm not at fault? Does my company, will my company cover the damage to my auto? And I don't know if this question can be asked here. Okay.
Yeah. So one-way insurance يعني ما اشتريتوا الoptions تبع collision or upset. So إذا ما اشتريت collision or upset, you didn't buy that option, then you are at fault. You are not at fault. I'm sorry, you are not at fault.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So هن الانشورنس تبعك راح يدفع. إذا أنت منك at fault مش غلطان الانشورنس تبع ممكن بدك تدفع deductible أوقات. That's sometimes a little bit tricky on that one. But they'll pay for your vehicle. Everybody has that coverage if you're not at fault. Actually, yeah, that's a very good important point. If you're injured حدا ضربك وفلوا وماش عندك شيء information insurance ما بتعرف مين ضربك and you can't, there's no camera, the police couldn't do anything, بعد فيكم تعملوا دعوة ضد الانشورنس تبعكم minimum 200,000. بس إذا عندكم ال 44R هيدي دي أنا حكيت فيها option 44R, your insurance will respond to the دعوة, to the lawsuit. Okay, so that's why another reason كتير مهم إنه عندكم هيدا الأوبشن. أكثرية الناس عندهم إياه وما بيعرفوا إنه عندهم إياه لأنه البروكرز بيحطوا الأوبشن usually almost automatically. But it's good to check. There's another question.
I have another question, Professor. My address
Toronto, huh?
in Toronto.
Yeah, my address. Yeah.
But I just might read it loud so everybody hear it. So my address is in Toronto, but I may stay in Ottawa for about 2 months. Do I need to notify my insurance company if my vehicle is stolen while I'm there? Could it affect my coverage if I didn't inform them? Thank you.
You know, if it's not a permanent address, I wouldn't think so. But it doesn't hurt to tell your insurance broker at least. Just ask the broker. But I don't think if it's temporary, it should affect. It would be unusual if it's just temporary. I would be surprised they take an off coverage position. But again, you relieve yourself from any risk when you tell the broker, because it's up to the broker to then make sure you have the right coverage. And if you don't have the coverage because the insurance company says, oh, you didn't tell us, then you have your claim against the broker. So that's why it's good to have those insurance brokers.
فتحي إذا تحب تسأل سؤالك شوفك منور رافع يدك.
عندي سؤال لو سمحت. إذا حصل حادث بسيط عند الإشارة، صدمت واحد من وراء، الصدمة كانت خفيفة جدا جدا، نزلنا الطرف الثاني بيقول لي خلاص you good to go، بس أخذ رقم تليفوني. بعدها ب4 أيام بيرسل لي مسجات إنه أنت إذا ما تعطيني معلومات الإنشورنس راح أبلغ البوليس. فالحالة هذه إيش أسوي؟
So we got into a small accident in the traffic light. There was no damage to
damage, nothing.
There's no damage to either car. It was just kind of touching, cars touching. You exchanged phone numbers, and he was like, "You good to go?" And after that, he started texting you, telling you, "Give me your insurance information, or I will report it to the police." Do you have to give them your insurance information?
If it's a minor accident and there's very little damage, أول شيء بدك تاخد بوقتها صور. أكد إنه عندك صور. Okay, so make sure you have that. And then إذا هو بيقول لك إنه أنا راح أعمل claim, I don't know what the claim is about, is that there's no damage. You tell your insurance company, you can give them your insurance information, but دغري قل لهم للinsurance company تبعكم وبعت لهم الصور اللي أخذتهم وكل information تبع الaccident, and then see what happens. I mean, unfortunately, that sometimes some people will do that, but some people they'll try to to threaten you, you know, like, oh, if you don't give me $500, I'm going to call the insurance, I'm going to do this. So that's why it's good to have all the information, have all the pictures, have everything ready. And if it's not your fault, then your insurance should not go up. If it is your fault, well, then you know, you're going to have the pictures showing that there's no damage. So it should be fine.
No, but it's important to kind of report it right away because they can go around you and kind of try to make a claim, and you'd be surprised, for example, because now they get to tell their part of the story and you didn't have to. Okay. All right. We have one more question, Professor, here. It's again from, I think there is from Ghanem and then from Kareem. Ghanem asks, what if I got into a hit and run accident and I got injured? What should I do immediately in terms of legal
We answered that one.
to raise a claim? Yeah. So Professor answered that you have to kind of try to report it as soon as possible, gather all the information that will help identify the person, and you can make a claim against your insurance in that case, especially if you have the 44R.
And if you have a witness, that's the next one. That's right. Sorry, Dia. Sorry, you were going to read the next question.
Go ahead, Professor.
Yeah, absolutely, Ghanem. I mean, if you have witnesses, 100% get their phone numbers and their name and phone numbers. And that could be very important down the line, down the road. So not always easy after you get into an accident because you're kind of shocked and everything, but you call the police as well. If it's a hit and run, you definitely call the police as well and tell them that you've been involved in a hit and run. And any information you can get from witnesses is very good. So that's a good practice. How long? Oh, sorry, Dia, did you want to go to the next one?
One question from Kareem, and then we'll take another question from Adam, and then we can wrap up if your time is up, Professor. So Kareem is asking how long the accident will remain in my history. If I had an accident with Turo insurance or Uber insurance, does it affect directly to my history with the insurance, and for how long? So he didn't report it to his own insurance, or wasn't reported to his own insurance, it was reported to Uber insurance, for example, in that case.
That's a really good question, Kareem. That is much more of a insurance agent question than for me to answer, unfortunately. They are going to know, they're the experts in that area. I wouldn't be able to, I'm sorry, but it's a good question. Yeah. Can't answer.
It's just my experience. It's not a legal advice, but my experience, I had a similar issue. It's not going, as long as it's not gonna go to your insurance, it's not gonna change or affect your insurance premiums, but it is going to show in your history. So if you change insurance company, the insurer, once they run the check, they will find that it's in your record. It's just the claim didn't go to your insurance, so your insurance probably will not raise it with you.
They have a database. The insurance all have access to a database that shows all the claims you made, the claims against you. It's all shown in the database for a certain amount of years. I think it does get. I think there are a certain amount of years after that it gets deleted. But
Adam.
Yes, مرحبا جميع. I have a question. What percentage of the damage makes the car a total loss? And if I get an accident and let's say the accident value like 40 or 30% of the value of the car, and the insurance says like we're gonna repair your car, and I wanted to refuse that because it will drop off the car value. Can I refuse the repair and demand for the full cash or replacement or the compensation?
You only if it's a brand new car, you can buy an option. Yeah, brand new car, you can buy the option.
I do have the option of the OEM, and the value of the accident was like 24,000, and the car was like 60,000. Do I have the option? You
have which option is it called? Which one do you have?
The OEM, like a new car or Like they have to replace.
45. I think it's the 45. I think it's, let me just see here. It's the, if you have purchased, and that's not a very common option to purchase. So if you have it, that's great. I think it's the 45 or 43. No, maybe it's the 43. Yeah, 43. It should be OPCF 43. Is that what you have? It's so it will, they will
yes,
pay,
basically,
they'll pay
yes,
the vehicles at the value of it as you purchased it. But it's a very expensive option to have.
Yeah, they actually decide to repair the car, but like I was pushing them to compensate me with the total amount of the car and take the car, and they refused that. Do I have the option of the right to get the full amount of the car and refuse the repair?
I think you're talking about two different things, Professor. The Professor, you're talking about an option as an add-on. You can add to your insurance policy that gives you the right for a car replacement. It's an add-on. You pay for it, an additional, right, Professor?
It's an add-on. You have to pay for this additional coverage.
Otherwise, you don't have the right to choose.
No.
But like I do have like an option, I added an option called like OEM, like to replace a new parts of the car of a new car, like if
yeah, that's when you purchase your new vehicle. So yeah. I would say I'm just looking at it right now.
No, it's as I understood, OEM guarantees that the parts used in repairing your car are original parts, but it doesn't guarantee that they change the car. That's a different option.
Yeah, you got to get the OPCF 43 for that one. It's a very expensive option, and I don't think you have it.
Okay.
I would have to look at your policy to give you more advice. I mean, I'm not. That's not my property damage.
What is the option called exactly?
It's OPCF 43.
Okay, and it gives you the right to car replacement.
To replace the car with a brand new car, like it's you're gonna get the brand new car, or the cost of the brand new car.
So thank you, Adam. So, all right, we'll move to Muhammad.
Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you so much, Professor, for this more wonderful webinar, and thank you for Mr. Dia as well. So my question is, I had an accident actually like 3 months ago, and I was reported for my insurance company at that time at the same day, and they transferred me to like repair shop. The damage actually was at the front and at the side. When that repair shop, he give them the report to the insurance company, they approved the part of the damage which is in the front, but they didn't approve the side damage. They requested from me to do they said, okay, we're gonna repair the side the damage, but they required for me to open another claim, so it's gonna be 2 claims. I said no, hold it, and they said, okay, if you don't accept the report from the repair shop that
Oh, I think we lost Muhammad.
We lost Muhammad. I think.
Yeah. So, I think I know what Muhammad was trying to get to.
Muhammad, did you finish your question? Can you hear us?
No, okay. Do you hear me right now? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I went to other repair shop, and I bring like 2 reports or two reports from 2 different repair shop, and they said they didn't approve. They said, okay, we cannot fix that as a 1 claim. We can repair that with 2 claims. So I don't know actually I don't know what should I do in this case. Should I open a new claim?
I don't know why they would open a second claim. Like, I'd have to see sort of the reasoning behind why is there two claims. It's very odd. If I can tell you generally, if you have you're not in agreement with your insurance companies, either their value of the car or the repairs that they're willing to pay, then you do have a right to sue your insurance company. Okay, you don't have to accept their what they're telling you. You can sue them directly.
Yeah, I understand. So actually, they sent me an email on that, but I didn't reply to them anything until now. I said like I have to go to consultation with any lawyer, you know. So actually, I'm confused because this is the first time like I had an
Professor,
accident in Canada. That's why.
just is there any recourse path before actually making like a claim against is there any like third party or like kind of a way to go and make a complaint against your insurance before actually going to the court?
Yes, that's a very good point. And then I would exhaust that avenue first, Dia, in terms of seeking. First of all, you ask for the supervisor. You file a complaint and say, I want a response to my complaint from the supervisor. If you're not satisfied with that, there is an upper level of complaint within the insurance company. Usually they have an ombudsman, but that will be explicitly stated on your insurance company's website as to the levels that you can go up before you start a lawsuit. But ultimately, if you're not satisfied with the adjudication of the claim, you have to start your lawsuit within 1 year. So you do not want to wait more than 1 year to start that lawsuit against your insurance company for the property damage.
Professor, do you want to take another question, or how's time?
Yeah, maybe we'll just take maybe another two questions or so.
Okay. Adam, your hands was up. Is it? Have you forgotten it or? Okay. Okay. Cool. So we have a question from Ghanem and Mohammed. Okay, go Ghanem.
Yeah, my question is just related to the question someone already raised. Like, I mean, it's just an extension of that question. So what's the difference between the gap insurance and the accumulated depreciation cost that some dealership or companies, when they sell you the car, no, sorry, that's a gap insurance coming from the dealership or companies. They sell you the car, and the depreciation cost is coming from the company. So is there any difference, or they both complete each other, or what it is about?
It's again a very good question there, and I've seen that before as well, and it has confused me. It's not something that I don't practice in that area specifically, and I haven't had to experience when in terms of the vehicles I purchased. But you're right in that there's a gap. Then it's coming from one side, and then there's the insurance depreciation. My understanding is you get both.
Okay.
So you just cover yourself on both sides.
Because if it's a brand new car, or if it's a new model like car, like for like more than 20, 23, 24, 5, and because you don't want to lose a lot of money if you got into an accident. So the companies, they offer you this to pay as a benefit. And even the dealership, they offer you that to pay it as a lump sum amount, and that's it.
Okay, so this is kind of an optional that can help you with the new car too. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not an insurance, right? That's what you're asking is it's an offer by the dealership to pay the gap between. Yeah, I know, but there's also, that's the thing. Like, is that worth it versus you can get the depreciation deduction, removal of the depreciation deduction directly from your insurance company. I think you have to sort of weigh the benefits, pros and cons, and how much the premiums are.
Yeah, because I don't want to pay both. And at the same time, they're going to cover me both. So why should I pay both? Like,
well, what did your broker say?
I haven't discussed this with.
You should put it to your broker. Have them tell you, because they're gonna know this. They should be very much aware about this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sound good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, we'll take the last question from Muhammad. Muhammad, is your hands up or you just forgot to put it down? Okay. So I think yeah. All right. So I think we have come thank you, Professor. You have answered all the questions and thank you for the very productive and very informative session today. Professor Obaji, by the way, he
really
practices law in
apologize.
Ottawa
I
and
really apologize.
sorry.
I really apologize. I was trying to unmute it.
Okay, so you have a question,
guys.
Muhammad.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, guys, to give me this opportunity. Actually, I do have a lot of questions, but I will try to summarize it to make it easier and smoother and faster. So, actually, I was working in an insurance company, I mean, back in the days, back home, but when I moved here, I found something is different, which is the policies and how they run the policies. It's like two questions in one. For example, if the client had an accident, then as I know here, they used to swap to check both information. I mean, either the both involved in the accident, the both parties. The question is, for example, if the accident's not clear, the percentage, the liability, what is going to happen in this conditions or in this scenario? There is, I mean, do the cops have to involve, or there is a specific, I mean, a government department or authorization that going to handle this case? That's the first question. The second question: who is the regulation or the regulation for the insurance companies in Canada? For example, if I had any issue with the insurance company and I have, for example, I made a complaint, then I escalated. I went to a dead end with the company. So to whom I have to escalate this complaint? And really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Muhammad, good. Two great questions there. For the first question, if it's the property damage claim, there are very specific rules. It's called the fault determination rules, which will determine fault. So it shows you diagrams and etc. So if it's, for example, a rear end collision, it's automatically the rear vehicle 100% at fault. Doesn't matter what the front vehicle did, even if there was a squirrel or something and whatever. The rear vehicle 100%. So property damage has their own rules that makes it easy. Sometimes 75-25, sometimes 50-50, sometimes 100, depending on how the accident occurred. But if it's a lawsuit, so it's a lawsuit for personal injuries, and it's not clear, maybe the person in the front braked very suddenly and shouldn't, should because of an animal or something, and they shouldn't have braked that hard on the highway. That's going to be determined by the court with all the evidence and all the witnesses and all the engineers, and everybody will get involved with the lawyers making their arguments. Much more nuanced, okay? So fault is different depending on what kind of claim you're making. Accident benefits claim, there's no fault. You can make your claim. It doesn't matter if you're 100% at fault. You can make your claim for accident benefits, for medical rehabilitation with your own insurance company, etc. Your second question was about where to escalate. You could escalate it with the Financial Service Regulatory Authority of Ontario, so FSRA, F like Frank, S like Sam, R-A. But ultimately, the best recourse is going to be a lawsuit with a lawyer. That's what you're going to have to end up doing if that's what's going to push them, because they sometimes, if they make a position, they're stuck on it, they're going to need you to sue them for them to do anything else.
Just to clarify, Professor, before we end here today, most of the things we talked about here today apply to Ontario, and but for example, for the torty claims, it doesn't apply in Quebec. Quebec doesn't have a torty claim. You are limited to the accident benefits and property claims, but you cannot make a torty claim. And that actually explains the very low premiums we have in Quebec.
You got it, Dia. You're right on. In Quebec, it's very different. You have no right to sue anybody. If you're Ontario resident and you go in Quebec, it doesn't matter if you're Ontario car, license plate, resident. If you have an accident in Quebec, you cannot sue anybody. You only have a claim against your own insurance company for the benefits that they pay, which they would pay it. It's a bit more complicated as to how much they pay. We haven't really got into that, but you're correct. Ultimately, you lose the right to sue.
All right, thank you so much, Professor. Again, Professor Obaji, actually, he is practicing here in Ottawa. So, guys, if you need, I don't know, like, if you have a claim in the future, hopefully everybody will be safe. But if you have a claim, Professor practice in Connolly Obaji LLP here in Ottawa. And I think people here in Ottawa, most of the people we have today here are from Ottawa. So this is Professor going to be a good resource for you to reach out whenever you need help. And Professor Obaji, he's been very generous with us today, but also in general. In personally, I know you, Professor. You've been great as a professor. Thank you so much for coming here today and for giving us this very, very informative session in a very short time. I felt like got half of what I got in throughout the semester, given the whole the questions and the real
it's a great group.
questions.
It's a great group. It's a great group. Thank you so much, Dia, for organizing all this and for having me. A fantastic group, fantastic discussion. I was very happy to have done this, and yeah, hopefully you will never ever have to call me or see me for any sort of accident related issues. But yeah, that's greatly appreciated again, Dia.
Right. Thanks, everyone. Well, see you next time.
Okay. All the best, guys. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Thanks. Bye-bye.